Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Let's go! Let's go!
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Susan LoPresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul. This is the podcast where we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to a woman's life, her health, and just all aspects of navigating the midlife landscape. I'm your host, Susan LoPresti, and today I have a guest with me. Her name is Toni Shelaske, and Toni is a female founder and former owner of Healthy Pet Products. Healthy Pet Products was Pittsburgh's premier natural pet supplier. After successfully growing and selling the business, after 16 years, she's now focused on sharing her expertise in entrepreneurship, pet wellness, business growth, and continuing her podcast called Toni Unleashed. On her show, she speaks about holistic pet wellness, helping pet owners choose the healthiest food treats and products. Toni's journey is full of valuable takeaways for pet lovers. So this is a little bit off topic for my podcast. However, I know that so many women, especially in midlife, if they retire early, they're getting dogs for companionship and they have more time to be able to take care of them. So I really thought that this episode would be something that you would be interested in hearing more about. So without further ado, Toni, welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. And I'm excited for our discussion because I am a huge animal lover. And so this is right up my alley, even though it's not typical of my podcast because my podcast is for midlife women. However, I know women love dogs. So I want to start with your pet store that you initially opened. What was that all about?
Well, thank you for having me, Susan.
You're welcome.
And I'm 57, so I can definitely speak to your audience. So I'm 57 and I started Healthy Pet Products when I was 40. And I started feeding raw food to my dogs when even earlier than that. I've been feeding raw food for about 25 years. So Healthy Pet Products, I grew to 3 locations in Pittsburgh, and then I have 1 location in Florida. And the easiest way to describe it is it's like the Whole Foods in the pet world. So all of my foods that I carried, I wouldn't carry anything that I wouldn't feed to my own. So everything was wheat, and there was no wheat in any of the food, no corn, no soy, no chemical preservatives, no food coloring. And I sold a lot of raw food, freeze-dried food, air-dried food, the gently cooked and all that kind of stuff. So more of what would be considered a primal diet, like what dogs and cats would naturally eat in the wild.
What is raw food? What is that?
Yeah. So when I say raw food, especially when it was 25 years ago, people usually look at me like I have 3 heads. And it's literally feeding our dogs and cats what they would naturally eat in the wild. So kibble is man-made and highly processed. It goes through a very high heat process and then a pressure to puff it up. And you also have to have starches to make a kibble. So that starch turns into sugar in the body, right? Just like with us. So, and dogs and cats would never really eat anything like that. So feeding raw food is feeding raw meat, and you do have to have a small amount of bones and some organs in there as well, but it's all ground as formulas, balanced, and most of them don't have synthetic supplements. So it's really a moisture rich natural diet for them.
And where would you buy? Well, your store?
All the pet food stores across the country carry that. Even pets, you can even buy raw food at the big box stores, which I am a huge supporter of shopping local and trying to find your independent pet food store because they're in it because they're passionate about it. Just like you started your podcast because you're passionate about, empowering women going through the midlife challenges, right?
Yes.
So, and I'm passionate about feeding healthy, staying healthy, exercise for me personally and for pets. So it's available just about anywhere.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So even PetSmart and Petco, you'll find a freezer. You're only going to find one freezer and you're not going to have help. The sales associates typically in big box stores are for the most part not very helpful. But if
Yeah.
you find a locally independent pet food store, they're going to probably already be raw feeders and educate you on what you can do and how many options there are. The options are through the roof as far as how you can reduce that kibble load, reduce just like with us, highly processed food
Yes.
is not the best. Do we all eat a bag of potato chips or stop at McDonald's every once in a while for French fries? We all do, some less than others.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
and the interesting thing, Susan, is when you see, we've all known people that went through like a detox, like they did eat a highly processed diet and it was starting to affect their health and they start cleaning it up or they do a cleanse or and you see the difference in them,
Yes.
like they look brighter, their eyes are clearer,
Healthy.
their fog goes away in their brain, like it's visible, right? You see
Yeah.
the same thing in pets. It's
Wow, I
real.
have to tell my daughter about this because she got a dog, a rescue dog, probably 7 months or so. And what she does is she cooks turkey or chicken and mixes it with her food.
That's fine. That's fine. The more, what I tell people is the more real food that we can feed them, the healthier they're going to be. So you want to reduce that kibble as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And question what's in that kibble. Don't just go by marketing. We are so driven by marketing that
Yes.
we're not even aware of it, honestly.
No.
Right? So I can tell by your face I'm completely blowing your mind away.
You are, because I had two dogs before I got divorced, and they were my babies.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my daughter, and she was my baby too, but equally, and I know it sounds crazy to some people who are not animal lovers, but I adore pets, and so now I live in an apartment building and we're not allowed to have pets here.
Oh, I'm
So I
sorry.
sneak my daughter's dog in from,
Uh-huh.
like, I'm going to, after this is over, bring her here because it's a hot day and she's home by herself. My daughter's working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never knew that before. So
Yeah.
this is something,
Yeah.
like when you
And
said raw food, I was like, raw food?
yeah. And I'll be honest with you, the conventional veterinary industry, they are not big proponents of raw food. So if anyone listening is going to run to their vet and ask about raw food, they're going to get shut down typically. And and I don't like to speak negatively of anyone, but it's almost like us being more holistic. You don't
Yes.
really get the support from a medical doctor.
Yes.
If we start taking herbs for something, a lot of times they think that's woo woo and
Right. Right.
weird because it's not federally regulated. It's the exact same thing with raw food. And what's sad is we are seeing an increase in cancer and many autoimmune diseases that is it's unbelievable. The cancer rate in dogs is over 50%. And then there's certain breeds like boxers and golden retrievers that it's literally 65%. and they do, our pets, dogs and cats and small animals or whatever, they do so much for us. They give us so much that we have to be their advocates, and that's really what my message is. And the funny thing is, had coffee with a friend of mine, and he was telling me about his wife. She has Hashimoto's.
I do too.
Do and she's been struggling with it, and he's like, I can't find a holistic doctor and blah 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 blah. So he's going into all this. So I'm asking him, like, does she take iodine? Does she do this? Does she do that? And then he's like, and she's been struggling emotionally, but they recently got a dog. And he said her thyroid and all of her numbers have improved since they got the dog.
Wow.
So I think just the change in the mindset that maybe it did for her, maybe her dopamine is,
Yes.
pumping out some good stuff that's helping her regulate a little better. But, they just do so much for us. We really have to start being their advocates because of how much disease we're seeing in them,
Yes.
and shorter lifespans.
Yes. I could relate to that because recently I was on Zoom. I was having a meeting with someone and I just didn't feel their energy was right.
Uh-huh.
By the time I was off the meeting, I felt very, very anxious.
Oh, you picked that
And
up.
I went to my daughter's house because she only lives a few blocks away. And I got her dog and we went walking. And
Mm-hmm.
as I was walking and I was with her,
Mm-hmm.
my energy went back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I could never speak to that woman ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the dog is what really saved me. So I could
Absolutely.
totally relate to that.
Absolutely. And they pick up, so your anxiety transferred into the dog.
Yes.
And that dog, because it's planted on the ground, that dog's feet are on the ground, grounded himself or herself or whomever, and at least, you know what I mean? But it goes in
Yes.
reverse. Like, very anxious pet parents, their dogs and their cats are taking all of that on too. And we're seeing an elevated an elevated amount of pets that are very anxious, like to the point that they need to be put on Prozac. Like, it's
Wow.
crazy. It's crazy. So we really need to learn how to bring our own selves down, bring our anxiety down, get quiet within ourselves, and so that we can help our pets too.
Yeah. I want to ask you because we were talking about veterinarians. So there's functional medicine doctors. That's who I see for my health.
Yep.
In the veterinarian world, is there doctors
So
similar?
there are holistic veterinarians. Yes. They are few and far between, unfortunately. And then there are some vets that are kind of middle of the road. So they're conventionally trained, but they also kind of believe in a better diet and aren't against raw food. It's just that the big guys like Purina and Hill Science Diet and all of those big pet food manufacturers are really against the raw food. They're really against the grain-free kibble, the more nutritious kibbles that are available.
Mhm.
So it's just a whole bunch of propaganda going on. It's crazy.
But
So,
with raw food, do you have to worry about different toxins or salmonella or like,
so yeah, so salmonella and listeria is naturally in raw meat. It
right,
really is. And we don't get it because we cook our food, right?
right.
So there is a process called high pressure pasteurization. So a lot of the raw food companies use a high pressure pasteurization to kill the listeria and salmonella. There's also another one called biophage where they put a bacteria into the food, and then that bacteria controls the bad bacteria. And then there's also one company that uses fermentation to control the bad bacteria. But also what's interesting to know is, like, I am more like, I don't want my proteins denatured. I don't like pasteurization. I'm not fearful of bacteria. So I usually choose to feed raw foods that have not been pasteurized. So, but dogs' digestive tracts are so much shorter than humans. They
Yeah.
get food in and out very quickly. And also, their digestive acids are way, way, way stronger than ours are. And they can handle any foodborne bacteria and not get sick. I literally have seen my dogs bury bones and 2 weeks later dig them up and eat them and not be sick.
Wow.
So, and that's what I've been doing for over 16 years with my stores, is educating pet parents about the benefits of feeding more of a natural diet. And then about 2 years ago, I started the podcast, Toni Unleashed, because I wanted to reach more people. You know, I can only
Yes.
talk to my sales associates, my stores. We only have so much of a reach, and I really want to take it as far as I possibly can, because everybody needs to know that there's options.
Right. Now, do you still own the stores or oh, you do?
Well, I just sold my 3 Pittsburgh stores.
Okay.
Sorry about that. And I owned them for 16 years. So I was just at the end of, I was just ready. It was time.
Well, retail is a tough business.
Correct. And
A lot.
prior to owning my stores, I had my own pet sitting business. But then, so I've been self-employed since I was 30. So, but then prior to that, all of my experience is retail management.
Okay.
So I can say most of my life I've been in retail.
Right. Yeah.
So I was just done. So, originally I thought, well, maybe the podcast can just be my own thing and I can still own the stores and my executive management team can just kind of run things, but it just didn't end up working that way. So I sold them, and fortunately I was able to sell them to another locally owned pet food store company.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and they're like 15 years younger than me.
Oh, nice.
So I
Perfect.
didn't sell to, a big box store. I kept it local, which was very important to me.
Yes.
And yeah, so
And what are
yeah.
you doing now, Toni?
So I'm doing the podcast. So I release an episode once a week, all about natural ways and pet wellness and natural flea and tick prevention, less
Oh,
vaccinating.
can we talk about natural flea and tick prevention for a minute?
Sure.
So, what do you recommend for that?
So
Because now's the season, right?
it is the season, and that it's honestly a rabbit hole. I have a whole episode just on flea and tick, and I could do another whole episode just on flea and tick. But what I like to warn people of is, if you're doing a topical flea and tick treatment, like a frontline or something like that, the skin is the largest organ, just like us. So
Yes.
you're putting insecticides and herbicides directly on your pet's skin, and that is spreading throughout the body. And that's a neurotoxin, right? And then if you have kids, your kids are petting your pets. And
Mm,
yes, our skin does absorb. So your kids are absorbing some of all of those chemicals. If you're doing an oral flea and tick, you're feeding herbicides. So we have an increased rate of seizures in dogs and cats. And I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a vet, Susan, but if these things are neurotoxins attacking the central nervous system of fleas and ticks, and it will kill them if they bite your dog or cat, how can that not affect the pet's central nervous system,
yes.
the dog and the cat, right? I mean, to me, it's like common sense almost. So, but I do have to be honest with everyone as well. And fleas and ticks are a battle, but especially ticks. So there's multiple herbal sprays. You can make your own herbal spray as repellents. Diatomaceous earth, dusted on the coat, actually can kill fleas and ticks if they jump on. There is a oral way. Remember, we used to feed brewer's yeast, and all of a
Yes.
sudden that went away. Yeah, it's back. So you can feed garlic. Garlic is not toxic, even though it's on the toxic list.
The dog, you could feed the dog
Yeah.
garlic,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that would kill fleas
That's
and
an
ticks.
It's a repellent.
A repellent.
It's a natural repellent. So the garlic emits
Oh,
in their
yes.
skin. We don't smell it, but it emits in their skin. So there's oral powders that you can feed to help repel. There's ultrasonic tags that emit an ultrasonic wave that helps to repel. Honestly, it's a rabbit hole of a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's a personal struggle for people to go natural and not use the chemicals because people are terrified of Lyme disease.
Yeah.
But most of my dogs have had Lyme disease and you would never even know it. I have Lyme disease and you would never even know it. It's in such epidemic rates that I really believe every mammal on the planet eventually is going to have Lyme disease.
Yeah. My ex-husband's dog was diagnosed with Lyme disease. They live upstate New York, so he's always out in the woods but I live in Queens. I mean, there's grass and there's trees and everything, but I don't know. I guess you could get it anywhere, really.
You can get it
Yeah.
anywhere. You can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tough one.
What is your opinion of, is it Bordetella?
Bordetella.
Bordetella. So
So
if the dog is with other dogs, it protects.
to prevent kennel cough, it actually is a live vaccine. It actually gives them kennel cough.
Okay. So you don't agree with that, right? No. I don't either.
Yeah. And what's sad is a lot of if people are using doggy daycares or that sort of thing,
Yeah.
they're requiring it like every 6 months, which is just insane.
Wow.
Yeah. 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 We're doing a disservice to our pets. We really are. Yeah.
How many dogs do you have?
So I have 2 dogs right now. Yeah. I have a 13-and-a-half-year-old cattle dog. I'm his third home. Cattle dogs herd, so they kind of like to nip. So, which is why I'm his third home. And then I have a 16-month-old Great Dane. She was a foster failure.
Oh.
So I fostered her when I was a board member for an animal shelter here locally. And I ended up keeping her. So.
How could you let them go, right?
Well, it is a difficult thing to foster, and people that are capable of fostering, you're doing it for the pet. You have to go into it knowing that you're doing it for the pet. So, and providing the pet a home and some structure so that the pet does end up being adopted. So,
yeah.
I'm totally capable. I just failed on this one.
That's okay. I'm sure that the dog is very lucky to have you, without a doubt.
I think she's happy. I think they're both happy.
Yeah.
So
they hit lotto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toni, any final thoughts you want to leave us with today?
Well, I like to tell people to question everything and be your pet's advocate. And your pets are communicating with you. Even though they can't talk, they're communicating. So you just kind of have to, get quiet within yourself and really watch their behaviors and listen to them. And all of these topics and more are available on my podcast, Toni Unleashed.
I will put it in the show notes.
Thanks.
Do you have a website also?
I do. And the website is toniunleashed.com. I'm in the beginning of compiling a list of recommended brands.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just recorded my 100th episode last night. So I have quite a few. Like if people are interested in certain topics, like you can scroll back and pull out flea and tick. You can go to cat. You can go to all kinds of topics. Like it's endless.
Okay. And you're also on social media?
Yes. So Instagram is Toni.unleashed and my Facebook is Toni Unleashed. TikTok is Toni Unleashed. I do an episode weekly. So I'm always happy to help anyone. My email is toniunleashed.com. I want all pets to be healthy. I want to see less cancer. I want to see less atopic dermatitis and diabetes and autoimmune diseases. And we're seeing it all.
Dogs
And
get diabetes as well.
oh yeah, the obesity rate in dogs is 50, at least 55% obese.
Wow.
Obese. Yeah,
Oh,
and
we have
people,
to do better.
we have to do better. We have to
Yes.
do better. You know, they've always been named man's best friend,
Yes.
and we have to do better.
Toni, thank you so much for coming on. This was a conversation after my own heart because, as you could tell, I'm a animal lover. Anyway, it was great to meet you. I wish you the best of luck with your podcast and everything that you're doing. And I'd love for you to come on again sometime.
I would love to. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Toni. Very nice to meet you. Thank you all so much for listening today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you like this episode, please leave me a comment, and also please share it out with your friends and family who you think would benefit from listening to this episode. Again, thank you so much. Please be sure to follow me here, and until the next time, be well, stay happy, and bye for now. Take good care, everyone.